Aliwal Shoal, located off the coast of South Africa, is a popular destination for scuba divers. This underwater paradise is known for its diverse marine life and breathtaking coral formations. The crystal-clear waters provide a stunning backdrop for exploring the vibrant coral and schools of colorful fish that call Aliwal Shoal home. However, the beauty of Aliwal Shoal is not without its dangers. The shoal is home to a number of shark species, including the infamous bull shark. This species of shark is known for its stocky, muscular build and a powerful tail that enables it to swim in both salt and fresh water. It's not uncommon to see bull sharks in the shallow waters near the shore, which makes them a potential threat to humans. Bull sharks are known to be highly territorial and aggressive and will attack humans if they feel threatened. This could be due to a variety of reasons, such as being provoked or disturbed or mistaking a person for their natural prey. They can grow up to 11 feet in length and weigh over 500 pounds, making them one of the largest shark species. In addition, bull sharks are known to be solitary hunters, which means they are often on the lookout for food, which makes them even more dangerous. These powerful predators patrol the waters, making every dive at Aliwal Shoal a thrilling and potentially dangerous experience. Despite the danger, it remains a popular destination for those brave enough to venture into its depths, offering a unique and unforgettable diving experience. This story follows Jake, a seasoned scuba diver who is about to embark on a once-in-a-lifetime diving adventure to Aliwal Shoal. Jake went on a dive together with Sarah, Tom, and Rachel. Sarah is a marine biologist who's eager to study the diverse marine life of Aliwal Shoal. Tom is a thrill seeker who lives for adventure. And Rachel is a beginner diver who is nervous but determined to push her limits. As they gather their gear and prepare for the dive, the group is filled with excitement and anticipation. They know that they're about to embark on a journey that will take them to the depths of Aliwal Shoal, where they will encounter a world of beauty and danger. The divers spent the morning preparing for the dive, checking and double-checking their equipment to ensure everything was in working order. Jake went over the dive plan with the group, emphasizing the importance of staying together and communicating clearly underwater. They would descend to a maximum depth of 30 meters, explore the vibrant coral formations and the massive shipwreck, and then make their way back to the surface. As they suited up and made their final preparations, the excitement was palpable. They stepped onto the dive boat and made their way out to the dive site, each lost in their own thoughts about the adventure that awaited them below the surface. Once they reached the dive site, the group took a deep breath and slowly descended into the water. They finned their way down to the sandy ocean floor, hand signals and nods communicating their movements to one another. As they swam towards the shipwreck, they marveled at the colorful schools of fish that surrounded them and the vibrant coral formations that rose from the ocean floor. With the dive plan in mind and the thrill of the adventure pumping through their veins, the group was ready to embark on a journey that would take them to the depths of Aliwal Shoal and beyond. As they descended into the water, they felt the familiar rush of adrenaline as they explored the unfamiliar world beneath the surface. The water was crystal clear, and the sun was shining down, illuminating the vibrant coral and schools of fish that surrounded them. They were in awe of the beauty of the underwater world and felt grateful for the opportunity to explore it. As they ventured further, Jake noticed a strange shape in the distance. As they approached, the shape became clearer, and they realized that it was a massive shipwreck. As they approached the wreck, they noticed that the water was growing darker, and they realized that they were entering the shadows of the wreck. They felt a thrill of excitement as they realized they were venturing into a place that few people had ever been. As they explored the shipwreck, the group was amazed by the sheer size and intricacy of the structure. Schools of colorful fish swam in and out of the broken pieces, and the divers were careful to avoid disturbing their natural habitat. Further into their dive, the group came across a series of stunning coral formations. The vibrant colors and intricate patterns of the coral were like nothing they had ever seen before. Sarah, the marine biologist, was particularly excited and spent time observing and taking notes on the different species of coral and fish. As they swam along, the group encountered a pod of playful dolphins. The dolphins circled around the divers, their playful energy contagious. The group was awestruck by their experience, their excitement building with every passing moment. Suddenly, the thrill turned to terror as they heard a loud banging sound echoing through the water. They turned to see a massive bull shark barreling towards them, its jaws wide open. The divers were paralyzed with fear as the shark closed in, but Jake quickly sprang into action, shouting orders to the group to stay together and swim back to the surface as fast as they could. The group was becoming increasingly aware of the danger they were in. The shark was relentless, its presence threatening their very lives. As they swam as fast as they could, their minds were filled with thoughts of what they would do if the shark decided to attack. They could feel the tension rising with every passing moment, the knowledge of what was to come weighing heavily on their minds. They had trained for this, but the reality of the situation was much different than anything they had ever imagined. As they finally came face to face with the shark, they could feel the adrenaline coursing through their veins. The beast was massive, its jaws powerful, and its eyes cold and menacing. The divers could feel their hearts pounding in their chests, their hands gripping their flares and dive knives as they prepared for what was to come. It was a moment that would test their courage and their resolve, a moment that would push them to their limits and beyond. The group was in a fight for survival, and they were determined to make it back to the surface alive. The divers followed Jake's lead, swimming as fast as they could, but the shark was gaining on them. It was a race for survival as the divers tried to outswim the massive predator. The divers were running low on options as the shark closed in. Jake, in a moment of desperation, reached for the flare gun in his dive gear. With shaking hands, he fired the flare, hoping to scare off the attacking shark. But to their horror, the flare didn't go off as it was supposed to. It fizzled out weakly in the water, barely making a sound. The shark was unfazed and continued to close in, its eyes locked onto its prey. As the shark closed in, the divers were frozen with fear. In that moment, Jake knew that he had to act fast to save his friends, even if it meant sacrificing his own life. With a fierce determination, Jake plunged himself between the shark and his friends. The shark, confused by the sudden movement, turned its attention towards Jake. The rest of the divers, meanwhile, used the opportunity to escape to the surface. As Jake and the shark engaged in a brutal battle, the other divers watched in horror. The water around them was churning with blood and debris as the two combatants clashed in a fight to the death. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the shark backed away, its attention now diverted from the divers. Jake was nowhere to be seen, and the other divers searched the water frantically, hoping against hope that their friend had somehow survived. The divers, still in shock and disbelief, immediately called for a rescue operation. They needed to bring Jake's body back to the surface and give him a proper goodbye. A team of divers was sent down to search for his body, but the currents were strong and the visibility was poor. Despite their best efforts, the divers were unable to locate Jake's body. Days passed and the search continued, but there was no sign of Jake. The other divers were heartbroken, unable to understand how someone so full of life could simply disappear like that. They held a memorial service for Jake, remembering his bravery and the sacrifice he made for his friends. But then one day, one of the divers spotted something floating in the water. It was Jake's dive gear, battered and torn, but still recognizable. The discovery gave the divers a glimmer of hope that Jake's body may still be out there, waiting to be found. The search for Jake's body continued, but it was never found. The loss of Jake was a devastating blow to the diving community. He was remembered as a fearless and selfless diver who had given his life to protect his friends. In the days and weeks that followed, the divers and the local authorities launched an extensive search for his body, but to no avail. His dive gear remained a symbol of his bravery and the sacrifice he made for his friends. The divers never forgot Jake and the impact he had on their lives, and they made a promise to always remember him and his sacrifice. So Jake's legacy lived on. Jake's dive gear, floating on the surface of the Aliwal Shoal, served as a reminder of the bravery and sacrifice that he had demonstrated on that fateful day. The dive community rallied around his family, offering support and comfort in their time of need. And as the years passed, the story of Jake's sacrifice at the Aliwal Shoal became a legend in the diving world. New generations of divers would hear the tale and be inspired by the bravery and selflessness that Jake had shown. The dive gear that he had worn that fateful day was later displayed in Aliwal Shoal Museum as a memorial to Jake and all divers who had lost their lives in the pursuit of adventure. Visitors to the museum are often moved by the sight of Jake's gear, and the story of his bravery is told to each new generation of divers. It serves as a reminder of the dangers that lie beneath the surface of the water and the sacrifices that divers are willing to make in order to explore the unknown. The museum is dedicated to preserving and showcasing the rich history and biodiversity of the famous dive site. It holds various exhibits and artifacts related to the marine life and shipwrecks in the area, including the gear of Jake, which serves as a poignant reminder of the dangers and sacrifices faced by divers. Although Jake's body was never found, his memory lives on through the gear that he wore and the countless lives that he touched through his selfless act of courage. He will always be remembered as a hero and an inspiration to divers everywhere. We would like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching this, take a dive on the like and subscribe buttons and hit the bell icon so you get notified when we come back with another exciting story.